BODMAS. We believe that most of you have ever come across this particular topic in mathematics before, but in this video we are going to teach you this in a very different and a simple way for you to conquer any questions that relate to a BODMAS. By the way, this is a special request by a student, one of the students, who says he is finding difficulty in solving questions that relate to BODMAS. If you have any problem or any particular topic you want us to assist you, just make sure that you comment in the comment section below. Now, the idea here, traditionally, what I mean by traditionally is generally accepted that the head of the family is the father, right? So the father is mostly, depending on the community in which you are living, but in some community or some part of the world, that may be the mother, right? But for understanding purpose of this video, let's limit our understanding that the father is the head of the family. Now, the way of solving a BODMAS question here is that you should know this arrangement, right? So the word here is BODMAS, meaning this B here stands for bracket, O stand for order, right? So the order, so maybe I will explain that in a second, so make sure that you watch the video to the end. And the D stands for division, M stands for multiplication, A is the addition, and then this is a subtraction, right? Now, if you have a questions like this, let's look at this question here that says 1 on 2 plus 1 on 3, or in brackets of 4, right? So which method are you going to use to solve this particular question? So bringing that 2 here, so the 2 that we need in solving this problem is the BODMAS. That says a bracket first. So always, if you have the question, make sure that you look for the head of the family. So what I mean by the head of the family, so who is the head of the family among all these questions here? Right, so the question here is that I am the head of the family, meaning that the bracket here, anything inside this bracket here is going to be the head of the family, right? For sure, the bracket is the head of the family, followed by the mother, and then D here stands for the firstborn, and so on and so forth, all right? So in the absence of the father, the mother takes in charge, so and so on. The same thing also happens to the firstborn, and so on and so forth. Is that okay? So the key here is to know this arrangement. Once you know that, your second component that you need to solve a question that relate to BODMAS is to know how to deal with all the operations. So what I mean by the operation, you should know how to solve any problem that is inside the bracket here, know how to do a multiplication, division, uh, and so on and so forth, right? So how do you solve this question here? By the way, if you are new here, make sure that you may subscribe to our channel for more content like this. If you gain some value from this video, or comment down below if you want us to assist in any particular topic or question. So this video is not about solving this something like this, just to understand the component or the idea behind BODMAS. So let's see how to solve this guy. So now that we see that you are the head of the family, let's see your duties. So every head of family has a duty, right? So you have 1 on 2 plus 1 on 3. So solving this guy here, you need something that we call the least common multiple, right? So least common multiple. Some of you know these things already. So it means that the least common multiples of the denominators, the guys at the down here, those are the things that we are finding the least, the smallest multiple numbers. So multiples of 2 here will be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on and so forth. So the multiples of 3, that should be 3, 6, 9, that should be 12, and then 15. So once we reach the point where we have some common multiple among these two denominators, then we are free to go. That is what we are going to call the least common multiple, which is 6. So having the 6 down, you can easily, you can skip this video if you are okay with this concept, right? Okay, so here 2, we'll go into this thing, 3 times 3 multiplied by 1, that should be 3, plus what? 3 will go into this is how many times 2, and then 2 multiply. Oh, so let me do it like this. So 3 multiplied by 1, plus, so the plus is in between, right? And then this 3 will go into this is how many times? 2 times, and then multiply by the 1 on the top, right? Which is what? 1. So this is going to be, that should be 3 plus 2, everything divided by 6, right? So everything divided, so here means that 6 on 6. So 6 divided by 6, that will be just be equal to 1. So if you have a $6, you want to share that among 6 people here, so each person takes what? Just $1, right? So the value of the guy in the bracket here is just $1. So 1. So now L this expression tends to be 1 of 4. Right? So that is why you need to understand the meaning of the of. The of here means the order means of multiplication, right? So it means that 1, so everything tends to be 1 multiplied by what? By 4, which is equal to 4. Is that okay? So this is the answer that we have for this particular problem. Now look at a more or a little bit complicated, which is not that difficult once you know the steps to use. Simplify without using mathematical tables or calculator this expression here. So this is the expression that we have. Now we already know that the tools that we are going to use here is what? BODMAS. So why BODMAS? So the question is why BODMAS, right? So that is the question. So this means that if you have multiple or more operations in one expression, that is where this arrangement comes in. If you are easily to forget this, make sure that you just write it down in order for you to obey. Now, your first question you should ask yourself, do I have bracket inside? Or who is the head of the family? Is the head of the family available here? The answer to that is no, because we don't have a bracket here. What about who? If this guy, the father, is in the absence of the father, who follows that? That is the mother, right? So we have the mother. So who is the mother here? Off. Do you have off? Of course, you have off here. Okay, we have off here. So this off applies to this guy and then this guy here. So those are the two things you have to solve first, right? So you make sure that you combine these two people before you move on. Now look at the member that you have. I'm not going to solve the whole question here. So at the end, make sure that you give me your answer to this expression here in the comment section below. Now this guy here, we call this guy a mixed fraction. So unlike the first one that we saw, you have to convert this guy to something that we call improper. So how do you do that? You multiply this by this, which is going to be 15, and then 15 plus the one on top, that is going to be 17. So this guy tends to be 17 divided by 5. Right? If you don't understand how we are getting this, just comment. We are ready to help you. Of this guy, the same thing. So the 4 multiplied by 1, that's going to be 4 plus 1 plus 1, that should be 5 on what? On 4. Is that okay? So we know the meaning of the of here. So of means what? The other of means what? In a simple term, that is all the multiplication, right? So this guy multiplied by that. That is what we are going to solve now. So how do you multiply? Remember, this is the only thing that we are dealing with, right? So this is the only thing that we are dealing with. We don't have any issue with the rest of the members here for now. So how do you multiply? You multiply the top to top and then down to down. But here this guy here tends to be 17 on 5 multiplied by 5 on what? On 4, right? So this one cancel this, and then we have 17 on what? On 4. Is that okay? So once you have 17 on 4, everything here, I can easily wipe this guy here. So this guy, everything, I can wipe everything and replace that by 17 on 4. Or maybe you can rewrite the whole expression, right? So you have to rewrite everything here and then switch this guy to 17 on 4. Now let's move on. So what will be our next head of the family in the absence of the mother here? That was about the division. So we have a very nice simple division sign at the down here. Remember, this is also division, but it comes with two different groups. So the top one and the down one. This is a simple division that you all know the sign, but so let's solve the one at the down here before we combine the top and the down together with what this division sign. Is that okay? So now let's move on. So this guy here, you see this guy is what we call a mixed fraction. So you have to make sure that you change this guy towards an improper fraction before you perform your division sign. So we've already done this thing. So this guy, the one at the down here, that's going to be 17 on 4 divided by, what will be the values of this? So that should be what? 17 on 6, right? So this multiply by that should be 12 plus 5, that should be 17 on 6. So the question is, how do you multiply, right? So by the way, how do you divide first before the multiplication? So we all know that before you can divide this and you have to switch this guy to a multiplication sign by interchanging this fraction. That is a law. Is that okay? So this guy here tends to be 17 on 4 multiplied by 6 on 17, right? If you have 6 on 70, you can see 70 and 70 here, so they cancel out. So everything tends to be 6 on 4, which is can be reduced by 2. 2 will go here 2, 2 will go here 3. So 3 on 2. Very simple, right? So very simple. Now, meaning that the guy at the down, the answer to the what everybody at the down here tends to be 3 on what on 2. Have you see how simple this is once you obey the laws here? If you are new here, once again, don't forget to give us a thumbs up or subscribe to our channel. Share our video for more content. So now what follows? What follows? Now that we are done with the division, so the one says us of multiplication. Do you have a multiplication available? No, multiplication is not what available here. Is that okay? Then what are we are going to addition. So do you have addition? Yes, you have addition. Which two people are we adding together? We are adding this and then this one. Right, so you need to solve these two people, the answer that you get, and then finally you have the subtraction. Of course, you have the subtraction, so you subtract this guy and the answer that you got among these two people here before you divide. Make sure that you give me your answer to this question in the comments. If you have a problem, you are unable to finish this particular question, just comment in the comment section below, and then we are ready to attend to you for more lessons. Thank you for watching.